So
it's
like,
funny though, isn't it, Kay? That and I'll be honest with you, I've come to that summarize as well. That it seems sometimes that the geezers that don't care, then I put it that way. Not to be too harsh. The mans them that don't really care seem to get the women them to just love on them, treat them like kings, and then the mans them that. I call it living to the script then, they're doing their duties as a man, looking after their wife, looking after their family, doing their best. Yeah. They seem to be the ones that sometimes, for some apparent reason, get, the hard deal. And vice versa, good women, you get me? That treat their husbands properly, get a raw deal. And sometimes the women them that are terrible, you get me? They demand them, treat them proper.
It's rough. So
it's kind of messed up, So,
Affinity Extra, be extra.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are personal and do not necessarily represent the views of Affinity Extra.
Okay, listeners, this is the Love in Action show where, as you know, we have discussions that sometimes are good and sometimes are not so good. But as you know, we need to have these conversations to bring about clarity and sometimes understanding, and hopefully, can bring some kind of conclusion to the situation. Today, I've got a very, very special guest, a colleague of mine that I've worked with. I have the most respect for him. I think, for a young man, he's achieved so much and has helped so much people in the community in which we work. And today, unfortunately, we're going to be speaking about a topic that I think is needed to be spoken about: divorce and the effects of divorce. And even if we can get to the nitty-gritty, what is the common or major common reason for divorces in this time? We've just, did a little research and found out it's something like 44% of married people here in the UK end up in divorce. That is a very high and shocking state. As a Christian myself, I can tell you that, many Christians have gone down the road of divorce. So it ain't something that is just like common just to people that are not Christians or religious. It is also now becoming very common for people that are also religious. So that's why we're going to have a conversation today with my special guest, KMD, as I know him. Hi, KMD. Welcome to the show.
Bless Rico.
Good to see you, man.
I know it's been a while.
It really has, blood. It really has. It really has. But, I'm really, blessed to have you on the show. Thanks for coming.
Yes, no problem.
And, to speak about, what I would really class as a very sensitive and delicate situation, or conversation is the better word to use. But I really do think that, for the time we're in, maybe from this conversation, people can get a bit more understanding about marriage and the importance of marriage as well. You know what I mean? And that even though you're getting married to a person and the person's getting married to you, I think one of the things I've learned is that they're still an individual person with their own mind.
Yeah, definitely.
And the mind can change. I think that's really what it comes down to, doesn't it? The person that I married 5 years ago, 10 years ago, doesn't necessarily mean it's the same person now. You get me?
Yeah,
and it depends, I suppose, on some of the changes. If the changes are tolerable anymore, and can I endure being with this person anymore? You know what I mean? But we're gonna talk along them lines anyway. But first of all, for the public and for the listeners generally, just explain who you are and what you do.
Let me try to give the bite-sized version.
Okay.
So KMD, music producer, engineer, DJ. I teach. I do. They say all things music. I'm an artist as well.
That's right.
I do film production as well. So I do that. I do youth work. Been working with Rico for the last few years.
That's right.
Yes, that's me. Like music, media, and community.
Yeah,
that's the simplest way to say it.
That's simple. Guys, it's a long list, you get me? But really and true, Kay, you know what I mean? That's really the truth of the matter. And you're very active.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? From I've known you, you know what I mean? You're not one of them kind of people that just want to sit around and you know, just let life pass by.
Nah.
Yeah.
I can't, like, it's hard for me to sit still. I
Yeah.
have to force myself to rest and relax, and you know what I mean? It's like I get ill and then I'll relax. You know what I mean? It's like, I like to be active. My mind is very creative and it's always
Very
going.
true.
So I've
Very
got so
true.
much
Very true.
ideas and things that need to, you know what it is? I just want so much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
And
I love that.
yeah.
I love that. And like I said, you know what I mean, you're a great inspiration because, you know, in the time I've been around here, from the time we've met, because I see myself as a creative person. And when I met you, you know what I mean, your level of creativity, you know what I mean, was very inspiring to me. And I found that when we put like our ideas together, you were able to bring them out in such a way that, you know, I'm just like, yeah, okay, yeah, man, you know what I mean? And, you know, I just really fell in love with you, really, you know, in the way you are and the person you are, you know what I mean? You're very committed to your craft, you get me? And, going into the conversation, you know, of divorce, you know, I'm real, as you know, I'm going to tell you that, you know, you were the last person, be honest with you, I thought I'd be having a conversation with on that subject, I'll be honest with you, okay, because of the kind of person I know you to be. You get me?
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why I wanted to interview you more than, because I mean, there's a bag of mans, trust me. You get me? You know what I mean? But I think your story or your journeys, I like to use a journey as the real, you know, cliche, kind of inspired me to say, you know what, this is a man that, you know, was gone through a journey, but how you navigated your journey, I found that very inspiring. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of men, and I'm not being chauvinist when I say men, because I know that also the shoe does fit on the other side as well. Women, you know, go through some serious issues when it comes to divorce. In fact, I know a couple of ladies very well that are going through certain things right now as I speak. You get me? And it's never nice, you know what I mean? You know, divorce, anybody who's gonna tell you that divorce is a simple thing, I hear that thing that, you get me?
Yeah,
it's probably one of the most painfulest thing, bar death, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
And I don't say that for joke.
Nah,
I mean, I don't know if you can agree with that.
Yeah, no, I can.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the only difference is that with the dead, you bury them and, you know, there's a closure.
Yeah.
You know, with divorce, it doesn't seem to
It's like
be.
the living dead. Return of the living dead.
That's the one, my brother. You know, and it's not everybody, K, that can handle this thing. You know, this thing has affected people in so many ways. You know what I mean? So, you know, speak me through, K. You know, where, you know, how, let's go from, I suppose, you know, the journey really. You met the girl.
Yeah.
Because I know her. That's the sad thing. I know her. And I've seen the two of you together, especially when we got studio, for instance.
Yeah.
And a nicer couple, listeners, trust me, you couldn't find. You know what I mean? You know, to me, it was, it was something called from heaven. Suit. You see me? I know your heart towards, and you know, you're a worker, you're a graph, and you're doing things. So I'm thinking, well, what more does a woman really want in her life than a man who really, you know, wants to make two ends meet? You know, he understands the importance then as being a husband, as being a father, and he's about his craft. You get me?
Yeah.
You know, what more a woman wants really? So, yeah, talk to me, Kay. You know what I mean? You know, how and, you know, how did you go, how did you get there, really?
Without getting too political. So, I just guess over time, I think, you know what it was? There was a time where I became like the main and sole breadwinner in the house.
Sure.
So I was
like our dads back in the days.
Yeah. So I was the only one that was working. We had our first child, so she was at home a lot. And then she did say, oh, like, you know, you're out every day, you get to see people, blah, blah. Sure. And she wants to get out. And I say, yeah, go, you know, you've got friends that have had kids or whatever, I'll give you some money, go meet up with them, do stuff and whatever. But it was like, it wasn't enough. Oh, it's not the mic. But it wasn't enough. It was like, she wanted more of me time, but then at the same time, when we've got bills and responsibilities and things that need to get taken care of, I need to go and get it.
Come on, man.
Do you know what I mean? Man. So I'm kind of working around the clock and then, you know, doing my duties at home. And it just, I don't know, I just felt like she wanted more.
Yeah.
But it was like,
Well,
where there's no more, where can I get
Yeah,
the more
can I,
from?
can I stop you there, okay?
Go on.
Because I'm just going to be real, because, you know, this is a real talk, yeah?
Yeah.
To what you've just described there, and I'm going to be real with you,
Yeah.
yeah? It would normally have turned out the opposite way, because most mans, if he's doing the breadwinning, is out 24/7, yeah? He's bringing in the bread, he's doing his responsibilities, okay? This is what I'm talking about. He's doing what he's got to do.
Yeah.
So he's looking after his wife, he's looking after his kids, he's looking after the home. Wife isn't working, but her duty now is obviously then, as it was for our mums
Yeah.
and our grandmom's generation, because as I can tell you straight, my mom, she did part-time, and most of the families that I knew, the Willocks, the Jeffersons, and the people that I grew up with in my time, it was like a women's committee, the mother's committee, me call it, because all the mothers' jobs were to take the kids to school, cook the dinner, look after the pick them up from school. And correct me, you know, listeners, if I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, they did it with joy.
Yeah.
Now, the man's job, come my dad, he was a worker.
Yeah.
He'd come in. Them time they never had bank kind of
Yeah.
in the bank. You got your money cash.
Yeah.
So when the weekend come or the week done, dad would put the money on the table, give mom for the housekeeping, and mom go do the shopping and everything.
Yeah.
And that was the culture that we grew up in. So when we move now to we call it the modern society now, where women now took more rights and, you know, equal, and some of them, as you know, earn more money than the man them anyway.
Yeah.
You understand me? Yeah. What I found in that culture, this new culture, was that the children now began to suffer, because you see, when mum was around 24/7, mum can see the changes in the children and bring them in line, or bring them to them daddy, and daddy bring them in a line.
Yeah.
But now, you probably see the kid in the morning, and then the next time you see him now is late in the evening, probably I'm doing little homework, but there's not much communication in the family structure, because, as you rightly said, man's out there bringing in the bread. But now, because it's wife and husband, bringing in the bread, who's suffering now? The children, and that's why we've got a big problem there. So back to what I'm saying. What you've just said to me, most men in 2020, okay, I tell you, would have probably now got wrapped off with that kind of way. Me at work and I bring in everything, and she complain, she want more this and more that. That would have given a man more reason to think, you know what, I can't be dealing with this no more, and I'm gone.
Yeah.
But you were sticking out. You know what I mean? You're committed. Like I said, I know you to be a committed person anyway.
Yeah.
You're committed to your craft. But then the person now on the other side, which is the shocking side of it, is the person now that wanted to end the thing.
Yeah.
But you're the one who's doing my most, not saying all, but you were holding the thing together then. So how did that feel?
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, I just felt like it was like, I felt kind of like it's let down, and like,
Yeah, man.
you get what I'm saying? It was kind
man.
of like, okay, like you wanted this, so I've committed myself to this.
Yeah.
I'm doing what I can do, and then certain things wasn't happening in my favor, and I was like, this ain't marriage in my head. Do you know what I mean? I don't know marriage like this. Like, it's supposed to be a team in it, so
Come on.
like, I was, as far as I was aware, I was doing what I was supposed to do, but I can't be out, I don't know, working, making money, and be at home and
No,
be
you
going
can't.
on
You can't.
going on a date or whatever.
can't.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so I think you have to, it's understanding as well. Like, 2 becomes 3. So you have a baby and there's 3 of you now.
Yeah, come
so
on
now
now.
it's like, okay, you have to adjust to that lifestyle.
Yes, my brother. Yeah.
And it's not always going to be like, oh, we could travel here, we could go there, we could
No.
do this. That don't happen no
No,
more. It's like,
when,
all right,
in
cool,
the
let's just start.
in the courting time.
Yeah.
I mean, call it, you know, the
Yeah,
courting
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Courting time sweet, you know.
Yeah.
Guy, I just you and the girl.
Yeah.
So if you want to go yourself at dinner, we can go.
Yeah.
When you have the third party now, when the little one come in at the midst now, it's a whole different setup. And we all have to, I mean, you know, my little youth, them virgin, even the basic thing like watching telly.
Yeah.
Me, when I watch a movie now, I can't watch the movie now because the contents on the movie is not suitable
Yes, it's-
for the little one.
Yeah.
So I have to be watching Peppa Pig and
Yeah,
whatever else, rah,
Yeah.
and all of them kind of thing there, because they can literally take over my TV now.
Yeah, that's
You
what
see me?
happens. Yeah, that's what
All
happens,
right.
yeah.
So there's an adjustment. So yeah, talk to me then, Kay. You know, you're dealing with the adjustments now.
Yeah, so it was just like, okay, like, you know, I think that for me, it was like a bit of lack of understanding. Because like you said, like watching my mom and dad grow up, they got divorced early.
Okay.
But just even the dynamics of how they used to run. My dad was always working. My mom was at home. But then my mom started working a lot.
Right.
But then my mom's always been a grafter.
Yes.
So she was doing 2-3 jobs. But this was my mom and dad's gone separate ways. So she's obviously looking after her family.
Yeah, father, mother, no. Yeah.
So, but I've just known it as the man provides.
That's what we know it. Yeah.
And the woman takes care of the home. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like nowadays it's the media and everything around it, like it's pushing too much.
Talk to me, man.
Independent ladies, and you don't need a man for this and this, that, and the other. Or you know, you're watching Instagram, and I'd say like she was watching the socials too much and seeing, look, this man's brought this girl, he's some flowers, and this man's brought this, and I know them kind of guys, you know.
Come on.
I know a lot of them, man. They're sweetening up the household, and they're doing the most out on the road.
Yo.
They're doing the most, and it seems like the worse you do, the better you get treated.
Okay, you took the words out my mouth. You took the words out my mouth.
And this is what it is, and I'm saying, but me personally, I could never be one of those guys, because I'm saying, like, if I'm committed to something, I'm committed to it. I'm in it. Do you know what I mean? And that's just me. Like, I've always been like that. If I'm going to do something, I'm going to go for it.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean?
No half-hearted.
Yeah. I'm all in. So that was me, and I was all in. But then I felt like, I kept thinking that, okay, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. So I kept pushing it. And I said, you know what? I've seen everybody around me break up with their partners. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm trying to keep it going.
Come on.
So through the thick and the thin, and you get what I'm saying? I made my vows, so I'm fighting for it.
Come on.
And then you get told that, okay, this isn't the fight, or we expect it. It's like a woman's perspective of a man fighting. They have their picture, you know.
Yeah.
It's like you need to come with some shining armor suit, riding on a horse, burning down the place, and that means you're fighting or walking through the rain, middle of the night, soaking wet, barling down the street, and that's you fighting.
Wow.
But there's many other ways, and I feel like because it's not the way that they see it, like it's not the fairy tale way.
The Daniel Boom story, the love novels.
Then it's like you're not doing it. Like, this ain't really love. It has to be this way, and I'm like.
But where did they get that perspective, though? Of what they see
I'd
as
say
love,
it's their
though?
growing up, their culture, their whatever it is, like whatever they've seen in their life, and
Growing
you know
up.
what I mean?
Okay.
They've took that on, and it's been like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be. Or I reckon it's like movies, though. It's movies and novels, because in reality it doesn't go like that.
Thank you. As
Do you
I
know what I
always
mean?
say,
and
this,
that's what it is.
this.
And it's like, wake up and smell the coffee. Like, this is not what it is. It's a journey. Like, it's a this is work.
It's like that program, not called UK, but there's a program called Love Island.
Yeah.
Now,
I don't even.
Come on. Them can't get me for what's that. I'm not knocking the
that
program. You know, respect to the producers for those that want to watch it. But
I don't watch it. Not interested.
I don't watch it because it's so far from reality.
Exactly.
They got these henchmen and these women that, you know, you have to be in a certain circle to see. You get me?
Yeah.
And the men them now get gravitated that they want a woman like that.
Exactly.
And then the women them are getting this gravitation. That's man. That's how I want my man to look.
False
you know,
advertising.
And false advertisement. And they're buying into it. You know. Okay.
Yeah, but this is what it's
and it's giving man's and don't get me wrong, ladies, because you know your man's watching that thing there. Yeah. He's looking and thinking, man, one of them kind of girl that we really like. You know what I'm saying? Excitement but to know that girl and live with her is probably something different.
Yeah. See, I need substance in it. I need substance. Man.
Come on. I need somebody, Reggie, that when I'm on my knees, Reggie, when I'm on my face, they're there for me. Exactly. Not just when I'm on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
Life has a way of, you know, you have the highs and the lows, okay?
Yeah.
And as you rightly highlighted, the courting days are always sweet, but when the little one comes, there is an adjustment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to know how to navigate that. And yes, it does put strain on the relationship because there's duties now that you can't ignore because the baby needs attention.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you're going to be selfish and think, well, you know what, me need to do it, me have to do it, and the baby becomes like the second commodity, then you're not ready for parenthood anyway.
Yeah.
I'll be honest
and
with you.
I feel like, and I wouldn't even just say in my circumstance, but I feel like a lot of women are not mentally prepared, or they don't understand what goes into a marriage.
I'm glad you said that. Thank you. Yes.
So like a lot of people I know getting married, but it's like it's for the title. It's like, I got married.
Got married,
Do
big
you know what I
wedding
mean?
too.
Yeah. But it's like, that's not it, you know. Like, that's the easy part.
That's the easy part, man.
Yeah, like it's the commitment, it's the
Come
going
on.
through it when it gets ugly,
Oh.
sticking in there.
Oh,
Do you know what I mean? Like,
come on.
that's the part that I don't think even I'd say men as well, they're not ready for that. Like, but everybody wants to be married, but I'd say a lot of the women, because I looked, and a lot of it's more women that divorce men than men that divorce women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't get that. Like, I was thinking, wow, that's a bit.
Yes.
It was surprising.
Surprising. Yeah, because you'd have thought it would be the other way around. But
Yeah.
I think, and I'm going to be straight, you know, with the ladies that are listening, you know, I would never say, Kay, to any woman who's married, you know what I mean? Or, say married, I've got to be honest, married to a man, and the man is abusive, that you should stay with that man.
Nah,
I would never say to you that you should put up with it. No, I would say that obviously you try to see if this man's going to change. But if you can clearly see, so this man is not changing and is destroying your life, and if you got kids, they're witnessing those kind of things,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you know, it's time to close the door. End up.
Yeah, definitely.
But there's another part of marriage as well, which is that one. And then you've got now what we call the financial pressure. Because a lot of marriages break down on the financial pressure. When the money's not running and the bills are coming in and the kids need this and that, and because men are known as breadwinners, as you know, when we're not bringing in the bread, it can cause women to look at us now. Although before 90% of your life you're bringing in the bread, but now sickness or redundancy, the bread's not coming in, and they kind of switch their narrative.
To me, that's wrong as well.
Come on.
Like, you
Come on
that's why
now.
it says the thick and the thin.
Come on, death do us part.
Yes.
You know, you can't be looking at your man because of what circumstances have reached him.
Yeah, because it can change at any time.
Come on, just like it changed from that to that, it can change again.
Yeah.
But you're gonna throw the towel in now because you have got accustomed to a certain lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you can't be living with a man just got nothing going on. You know what I mean? I think that's totally wrong. And I don't think women or men, for that matter, should get into a marriage based on materialism.
Definitely
You know what I mean? Because that
You
that
can't
doesn't,
control that. That's
no,
a
you
variable
can't.
that can go different at any time.
Thank you, Kay. You can't, because it changes. Because right now, the economics of the country right now, Kay, trust me, right, has put a lot of pressure on relationships. I'm telling you, when man can't pay a gas bill, but electric, and baby need food and everything gone up, bedroom, who's getting nagged? The man that gets it now.
But this is what I mean. Like, you can be smart and get together as a team.
That's what it's
make a
supposed
plan
to be.
and execute your plan together.
Come on.
And that's what it is. You got two's better than one, you know.
Yeah, man. Well, you know, Kay, as I said, you know, and you know, God bless that generation, our parents' generation and beyond. You know, they never had it easy, okay? You know, I've always said this to people, you know what I mean? You know, there was no pamper nappies and none of them things, the brethren. Nappies had to be washed by hand, brethren, and hanged out, you know what I mean? And coal fire, you know, we're talking about real things. But they had, as you said, a plan, and they work with the plan. And all of us, we're here to tell the tale, okay? You get me? We've all come through. But it just seems to me, you know, that the modern generation, their endurance level, their perseverance level is very weak. It doesn't take much for them to just fling the towel in.
Instagram, Snapchat, everything's instant. Little 15-second clips, and you get what I'm saying. It's like the nation, the people have just been dumbed down and like demotivated. And I feel like a lot of these social networks and the apps and stuff, even the films and music is taking away people's essence. Do you get what I mean?
Okay.
Like, you see, like, your soul, like the goodness that you have inside you.
Come on now.
It's like it's being broken down by these things. You're being distracted and you know, just lured into a different direction. So where you would have morals and values for yourself, people are throwing their morals away to go viral.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean? I've even seen men that I know in the community that I got named doing certain things online to get likes.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is madness.
Madness,
The
virgin.
girls have lost their morals to get
man.
likes.
Yeah, man.
Do you know
a
what
bag
I mean?
of things that go on.
So it's like, this is what's happening. Like, this is, for me, this is selling your soul.
Come on.
You get what I'm saying?
Come on.
And this is the problem. So when all that good nurturing, all the good minerals are inside you,
Come on now.
and you're filling yourself with all this toxic stuff, what have you got left? Just all you
Empty
can give
shell.
out is and toxic.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
toxic.
You just got no goodness in you. So
Yeah.
the goodness of fighting for something that, you know,
Is important.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're not gonna do it because it's like, okay, well, Instagram showed me this and that movie says, oh, I don't need you no more. I can do
Come
this
on.
myself.
Well, come on. Sometimes the government helps as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because, you know, a lot of women know that if they're no longer married, they get more support from
Yeah,
the government.
more benefits and-
benefits. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
And, you know, it's a very poor way of thinking that I'm better off divorcing my husband and smashing up the family because I'm going to end up having my own first independence, as they call it.
Yeah.
And also, I'll have a little extra cash because the government's going to look after me now.
So
'Cause
it's-
you know what I mean? It's
divide
crazy.
and conquer.
Crazy, thank you.
Yeah.
They can't see that. But okay, you know, just to go a little deeper, you know, for the viewers that have, you know, gone through it, and for those that haven't gone through it, and for those that may go through it, let's talk about the effects of divorce. How did it affect you, first of all, as a man?
Okay, so my thing normally, I've got this like, it's like a built-in safety mechanism. So my first thing that I did was just work. I was constantly working.
Okay, you just buried your head into work. Keep busy.
Yeah.
Keep busy.
So-
okay.
It was so basically I moved into my mom's house. I moved out of the house, I moved to my mom's house first, and then not like seeing my children every day. So now at this point I've got two kids from my ex-wife, but then I've my elder son from a previous relationship.
Yes.
So he was in the house as well. So it was like not waking up and seeing the kids, like, you know, the kids climbing on me in the morning,
on,
daddy
man.
wake up, and
Come on,
all them
come
kind
on,
of things,
come
and seeing
on,
them
come
daily. It was like, it started to get to me, like affect me mentally.
Yeah.
And my main thing was just like, if I keep working, I keep myself occupied, I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's either some people go and drink out down the place,
Yeah.
some people smoke
Yeah.
down the place, some
Yeah.
people take some hard drugs.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? My thing was just keep working. I was just constantly busy. Busy.
Which I know, 'cause I couldn't even find you.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know.
So-
you're right, you were busy, man. True.
So I was quite busy, and then, you know, so separated first, and I kept myself busy, wasn't doing nothing. Then she filed the divorce papers.
Wow.
And the only reason that she filed these divorce papers was because something triggered her, because she felt she got jealous because we were separated, and I was working with somebody at
Okay.
the time,
Okay.
and she assumed that there was more than just work going on.
Okay.
So we're separated though.
Right,
So
right,
first of all,
right.
you've told me to come out of the house. I've come out of the house. Months have gone by. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out of the house.
Right.
So technically, I'm a single guy. I'm still married though, but
Right.
I'm out of the house.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, cool. So a lot of the commitments and things, I start working with this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
For her benefit.
just for the viewers' sake, when you say
Yeah.
this person, we're talking about
A female artist.
A female
Okay.
artist.
So I was working with a female
Okay.
artist years ago, back in the day, like early.
Okay.
When we were just boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
Then over the years, you know, there was a little bit of issues but I felt like she was very jealous because I used to work with a lot of females in the music business.
Well, there's a lot of women in the
Yeah,
video.
yeah. So
yeah.
it was, so I stopped working with a lot of females. I cut off a lot of female friends, like
just for that.
just for her sake.
Yeah.
Stopped talking to a lot of females, and just, you know, I thought like maybe I should do this. Maybe it's the right thing to do. But I was kind of blinded. I was trying to please her too much.
Yeah.
Yeah. This
Good
is
point.
this is what we do.
Good,
I was trying to
good
please her
point.
too much.
And we lose ourselves in
Yeah.
doing
So
so.
I lost myself.
Yeah.
And then in that process, it was like, okay, cool. Then when we were separated and I was out of the house, I was like, okay, there's a lot of things that I stopped doing, and I felt like, okay, you know what? Actually, you know what? I want to work anyways. Let me work with this female artist again, because you know what? She's really talented. And there was no issues. We
Come
never
on.
had any issues.
No.
It's just that the fact that I was trying to please my ex-wife, why I kind of refrained from working with so many females and
Yeah.
so closely.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, wait there, and we get along. I've known her for years. So I thought, you know what? Okay, let's do some work again. So we ended up doing some work again.
Okay.
Did some music, like literally. That's all it is. Do you know what I mean? And then there was an assumption made that something happened. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's funny, and this is all because of social media.
Wow.
I have to laugh because it's like, as God is real,
Wow.
this is the fact, this is the truth that I'm talking.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, okay.
So
I know you wouldn't lie.
so basically, I don't want to say too many specific details.
No, of course not. Of course not.
So basically, that same week, literally within a week from that date, I was handed divorce papers.
Wow.
Like instantly, and I was like, huh, what's this? So I said, so I was like, is this because of this?
Yeah.
Because of me thingy? And then it was like, yeah, well, and it was time anyways. So it was that, yeah.
It was.
Yeah,
the fact
it was.
that he working.
Yeah. So she was like, oh yeah, but it was time anyways. We've been separated so long, we might as well do it now. But the trigger was me working with this artist and the fact that you thought something happened. And even still, you've separated me.
Wow, that's what I meant.
Even if it did, it's like it doesn't really matter. But it didn't anyways.
It doesn't matter.
Because me and this artist, we got a good bond. We're very close.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean? It's just on that level. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, really? So I swear on this, I swear on that, I swear on that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm
Because
like,
you know, if you're out there, I talk to the man them know really. You all know, right, that if we're playing the field, yeah, and our wife suspects it, you don't know already. It won't be a matter of time before they're gonna know the truth anyway, yeah. So we just know that no matter how you want to hide it, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
But we're talking here that you're in a relationship. The wife that you're with wants you to come out of the house, separate. So you're separated. That's not divorce. It means that, to me, it's time out to rethink about the relationship. So my question to you there, Kay, before I go any further.
Yeah.
During your time of separation, did you still have the fight to unite with your wife?
So I had the fight, yeah, but I went into closure, a lockdown, the all systems shut down. Like I said, I went into work mode because to me it felt like this is the end.
It felt like definitely.
Yeah, it felt like okay, it's game over now.
Yeah,
this is separation. Then the next stage is divorce.
Yeah.
So my first thing was I didn't think of solutions straight away. I felt like, okay, cool. Let me just get through this moment until I can find my bearings.
Yeah.
So in that time of me finding
a lot of things are happening fast.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. So my life was turned upside down.
Literally.
So I was like, okay, cool. Now I need to try and gather my thoughts. But it took months to gather my thoughts.
Yeah.
So obviously I'm working. Then I thought, okay, cool. So when we're having conversations, there's still fire there. There's still a bit of fire. So I'm saying, okay, cool. Let me not push anything. So I thought, you know what? Let me just focus on stuff that makes me happy. So I thought, me and these artists used to work together, create vibes. So let me do that then, because now I don't have to not work with her now because we're not together like that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? So it shouldn't
yeah.
affect you because.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
You put me out there because to me, this is just the separation is the journey. That's what's in my head. Like we're on the way out. So I was like, you know what? Cool. Let me just. So, anyways, we had a music session. Boom, session's finished. Same week, got divorce papers. Then I confronted. So I said, "This is what it is. You thought this and this happened." I could see the face reaction.
Wow.
Everything was like, yeah. So then when I told her, like, no, that wasn't the case. This and that happened. These people were there. This and this and this.
Come on.
Then it was like, that look when someone feels a bit silly, like, oh, I've overreacted. I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
It was that look, but then it was kind of justified with, well, we should have done it anyways. It's time, but it wasn't time. So then when that was the thing. Oh, but can you sign it up? Can you sign it ASAP? Can you hurry up and do it?
After she still knows that.
Yeah.
What she was, what initially brought it to the table
was false.
Was false.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
So it's like, and this is in COVID. This is like in COVID.
Wow, man.
So it's like, can you do that? And I'm saying, nah, I don't want to do that. So this is now when I'm saying, you know what? Scrap this. Fix up time. So I said, you know what? I want my family back.
Yeah.
Done this because you're going too far now.
Yeah.
I don't want to get divorced. Let's make it work.
Come on.
Do you know what I mean?
Come on.
That's all I was on. I was like, yo, let's make it work. Let's
Let's
try. Like we've made a thingy. We can do whatever. We can go counselling. We can do this. Do you know what I mean? I was willing to do anything at that point.
Yeah, man.
And that's what I put down on the table. So I'm saying, yo, let's go. Let's do it. No, sign the thingy. I was like, huh? Next day, phone call again. Have you done it yet? Have you done it yet? This is pressured after about 5 times. Wow. I got in my feelings. I'm thinking, you really want this?
Yeah.
Like, so now I'm thinking, okay, you're up to something then. You must have a new man there waiting.
Yeah,
you know,
man. Bound to think that. Come on. Bound to think that.
So obviously I've got in my feelings and I'm like, you know what? Nah, because how can I say I do not want this? Like, let's try it over and over and over again. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do that. And I'm saying, yo, this to me, this is the fight. This is the knight in shining armor saying, yo, I'm ready to fight in the battle.
Come on.
Or to be like, no, sign it. So I was like, you know what? And because I don't really like, I never used to really open up to people and I keep it to myself. I didn't really speak to nobody else. I was like, you know what? She's up to something. Yeah. And that was just like, cool.
It's like the patterns change, innit? You can tell the patterns change.
So for me, I was like, cool. So it was online and it was all online. So sent off the first paper. Then it was like, okay, you need to wait 6 weeks for a response. So left it there. Did the thing. I'm just in my feelings now thinking, yo, like you know what I mean? So I was like, cool. So we didn't really talk too much around there.
Yeah.
Then it came back and then you had to send off the next part again. Wow. But it took like 8 weeks because of COVID. And then so I've still tried to be like, nah, she's not having it, so cool. So the 29th of May 2020 was when the divorce was made official.
Jeez, man.
Yeah, so that was it. And it was weird because we didn't really speak. Like, I was in the house because I went to see the kids and stuff, and then but we just knew what it was. It was just quiet, didn't really talk about it. So like, I'm holding all this stuff inside in it. Yeah, I'm not really dealing with it. I'm just working. And then, so it was just divorced. And then I'm just like, raw, like, this is crazy. Like,
man.
It just felt weird.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Like, it just felt like, this is mad.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's times when I was at my mom's and I wanted to see my children and I'm just, I wanted to be back home and back in the relationship and everything. And it's just sad. Like, I was just there sad. You know what I mean? There's times I've cried myself to sleep.
Yep.
I'm like, yo, this is madness. Like,
man.
And then, as time went on, I was like, you know what? I tried again, I think. So that was May. I think around October that same year. Like, we started to get along good again. Good. Things were good, you know what I mean? I was, was going out family trips and stuff like that.
Real.
So I was like, you know what? Let me try again. So slowly I tried again, November, just before Christmas time. She's not having it. Not having it. So I'm saying, you must have found somebody else or something. No. Just focusing on this and focusing on the kids and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. Just constantly. So I was like, this doesn't make no sense.
No, it don't.
Like, I know you and something different. There's something different here. And then I saw certain names popping up on the phone and on the socials. And do you know what I mean? And it was, like, I'd say the end of 2020 to the beginning of 2021, a lot of things were revealed to me and I saw a lot of stuff, like evidence.
Wow.
And I'd say it was very traumatic. I was like,
got to be, bro.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. So I said to myself, what am I going to do? I was like going to check myself into a counselor. I said, I need therapy.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, wait there, you do music. Like, music is your therapy. Like, you can do this.
Wow.
So I started recording songs.
Yeah.
Literally, I spent the whole of 2021 recording.
Wow.
So at first, it was just, okay, let me just make a song. So I did a song, did a video.
Yeah.
But the first song was called Soul Ties.
Soul Ties.
Soul Ties. So I put that video out.
Wow.
The amount of inboxes I got when I dropped that video, like, I got a lot of women messaging me, saying, no way, I didn't know. And it's great to see that you're speaking on your feelings, and a lot of men.
Yeah, because
like
most
this,
men, K. As I said, I'm honored to have you on the show because I'm telling you, bro, not much men talk about this side, when they go through that, they don't talk about it. Probably I don't know if it's a mancho thing or what.
I think it is like, and
you reckon?
Definitely, man. It's macho, and man don't want to show that vulnerable side. But I'm like this, you know what? We was in the middle of COVID, and I'm like, you know what? I've lost too many people. Like, it's just mad. I'm not saying, like, people are dying daily, and I was like, you know what? I got to a point where I said, you know what? This is the time to be the realist, if ever. Do you know what I mean? So I said, you know what? I don't care. Like, what's worse than me saying how I feel? Or I don't business. Like, I'm not one of them people where I get embarrassed because this is real life.
Come on.
Everyone's going through it. But everyone's just holding it to themselves. So I said, you know what? At the end of the day, if I speak my story, there's someone out there that it can help.
Listen, Kay, I was talking to you. I think I told you I was on the train to Wolverhampton. going to see my Virgin Noel. And me and you had a conversation on the phone. We were talking about coming on the podcast and stuff. As I put down the phone, there was a white man on the train, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, man, sorry, but I couldn't help overhearing your conversation." And he was just going through the divorce with his missus,
Yeah.
And he was mashed up, Reggie. He was telling me that he's homeless, how the woman switched upon him, that, you know, he's got 3 kids. I can't see my kids. The man was in a state, but he said, you know, he said, when I heard you talking to your mate, you know what I mean, I realized that I'm not the only one. So then I started talking to him, obviously, and tell him, said, "Look, Reggie, there's bag of mans out there."
Yeah.
I said, the best thing you can do, my brother, is focus on you. Because if you don't focus on you, you will lose you. Because that's what this thing does. It affects your mind. You get me? Because obviously you put a lot in. Look, man, I've worked all my life. I've looked after my wife. I've never done nothing wrong. And he was so mashed up, Bedouin. But he had a smile, and I got his number. Up to now, he texts me. You get me? So I'm trying to show you that sometimes just another man hearing or another person hearing that, boy, it's not them one.
Then you feel like, you know, it's like what they say, like safety in numbers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
there you go.
Yeah, it was a crazy time. So I ended up recording a few songs, and then a lot of people was like, "Yo, I didn't know this was happening," because I just put it out there.
Yeah, man.
Because a lot of people thought, "Oh, you happy?" Even till this day, people think, "Oh, happily married and everything."
Wow.
I'm telling people like, "Oh, really?" Like, no, like people say, "Yo, like you was like
that's what I said,
the ultimate couple." Like, do you know what I mean? And
on,
this is crazy. It's like, nah, you could never break up.
That's
like,
what I said.
And this is what everyone says. It was crazy. So, yeah, man, it was mad. So I made a few songs. I even had man in jail messaging me, talking about, "Yo, I didn't know this was happening." Keep strong. I'm like, yeah,
keep strong.
It's real. Like, yeah. So I put the first one out there. Then I did a few more songs. I did a part 2. Like, I started to get my strength back though. Like, I started to feel a bit strong because I was mashed up. Like, I was at a point where I felt like, yo, if I wasn't so strong-minded,
yeah, go on, talk to me. Talk to me.
And have my children, do you know what I mean? And, you know, have faith in the Most High, I would have jumped off a block of flats. Yeah. That's how I felt. I felt like, yo, 2021 for me, at least the first half was traumatic. Yeah.
Wow.
It was the worst trauma I've ever felt in my life.
In your life, look at that.
Yeah,
that's the effect, you know, of divorce. That's why I wanted to talk about it, you know, okay? Because I've heard a lot of men say that. Some actually, unfortunately, have gone that way. You get me?
Yeah. I know people that have tried to jump off the motorway.
Yeah, man. When that pressure reach a man, Bedouin. And I think for me, Kay, what I think is the worst thing can happen to whether it's a woman or a man is when that situation of divorce comes, from the other party, and you, the person, are looking in the mirror, and you can't see what you've done for that to have happened. You know, when you know you've lived to the script. Yeah,
and even like, okay, no one's perfect in it, so I do little things. You know, like when like a woman might complain about, so okay, I wouldn't leave. I'm not a person to leave the toilet seat up or whatever. But you know, like if it's like, why do you keep leaving the toilet seat up? Or can you move this from there? Or do this? These are little small things. These are just small things. And then they'll say, oh yeah, but all the small things pile up. But it doesn't warrant divorce because this is what you signed up for. You signed up for all the little ugly little parts as well that are not that great. But if you see, if it was like something major, that I would say like this is like a big major issue. Like you've like, you know, you're being abusive or gone out and got some next woman pregnant. Or you know what I mean, like
having an affair.
Like that, like things like that. Like then I'd understand. Okay, cool. I see where you're coming from. But these are things that can be dealt with. Because when you sit down, if she sit down with all her friends or girlfriends, and everyone discusses their man problems, your man problems are gonna be on the list. Yeah, man. Because I know friends of yours that would say, "Yo, I'll take him. You have mine." Yeah, man. 100%. You get what I mean? 100%. I believe you. And it just didn't add up to me, so I was confused. That's what would mash up. Yeah, of course. I was confused. I was thinking, what else do you want me to do? Like, I'm not perfect, but come on, like, look at all these guys are doing. Do you know what I mean? And they're living happy homes. I'm thinking, do I need to be one of those? Yeah, like, rogues. Do I need to be like that and get the good treatment? Yeah. So it's like, funny though, isn't it, Kay? That. And I'll be honest with you, I've come to that summarize as well, that it seems sometimes that the geezers that don't care then, I'll put it that way, not to be too harsh, the men that don't really care seem to get the women them Yeah.
to just love on them, treat them like kings. And then the mans them that, I call it living to the script then, you know, they're doing their duties as a man, looking after their wife, looking after their family, doing their best.
Yeah.
They seem to be the ones that sometimes, for some apparent reason, get, you know, the hard deal. And vice versa, good women, you get me?
Yeah.
You know, that treat their husbands properly, get a raw deal. And sometimes the women them that are terrible.
Yeah,
you get me?
yeah,
They
it's
demand them, treat them.
Yeah, it's rough. So
it's kind of messed up, yeah.
So I spent the whole of 2021 recording songs.
Wow.
It was kind of like me documenting how I felt at certain points of the relationship.
Amazing.
It wasn't like my intention, but it's just like, okay, I need to record certain situations happened. I actually wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
And then I realized near the end of the year, I was like, oh, wow, this looks like an album. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put this as an album. I called it Therapy Sessions.
Therapy Sessions.
You know what I mean? So I released it, I think it was the 28th of December.
And how did it do?
It's still out there, still doing. It's still doing.
Brilliant.
Do you know what I mean?
Brilliant.
So KMD Therapy Sessions, it's on all digital outlets. It's a very good listen. Like it's pain, but then it's a journey. So it starts very dark and gloomy, and it gets a bit more light and you know what I mean? A bit more happy near the end.
Yeah,
but it's my process though. It was like I was in a very dark place.
Of course.
And that was like, and me realizing this was, I think, near the end of, like I said, end of 2020. I had said to myself, you know what, you need to deal with the issues, because I realized that, I think it was like when I said I was trying to get back with her again for the second time.
Yeah, man.
I was like, you've got issues, you know, and you haven't really dealt with them because you haven't really sat down and discussed how you felt about the separation. You haven't discussed how you felt about the divorce. You haven't really opened up a spot. I haven't dealt with it. It's like if you go into a room in your house and you just use it for storage, you just got stuff in there. You just keep putting stuff in there.
That's right.
Keep bags and boxes and stuff. And I said to myself, you know what? I need to go through my boxes and see what's in there.
Clear out.
Yeah, I need to do a clear out. So when I decided to do that mentally, and I started to go through my boxes, then I started to pull out different emotions. Oh, I still care. I still think this. I still feel this way. Wow. So I was thinking, right, I didn't know this. Oh, that's in here. I didn't know that was in that box. That's what it was like for me. So that's what I was like, you know what?
Like self-realization.
Yeah. So that's when I was like, you know what? I need to fight for it again. So that's when I tried to fight for it again. And then
this was the third time, is it?
No, this was the second time.
Second time.
This was end of 2020.
Go on.
So then I started to see certain things come out.
Oh, okay.
Then I was like, oh, so this is why you're saying no. And then that's what triggered me to go to the studio and record the first song. And then from there, I started to see more stuff.
Oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? I was having dreams and everything. Do you know what I mean? And things were playing out in reality. This is what it is like. Yeah, man. Yeah. So then I started to make songs about it. So did the album, and a lot of people can relate to it. And to be fair, there's a song on there that I have there's an interlude track where I just literally did like a chorus on a track. I wasn't going to put on an album. I was just going to put it out as the next song. But I said, you know what? I made it into an interlude. So I've got there's this girl talking, and then the song comes in for a little like chorus, and then it fades out. Okay. But then recently, I've took that song, that chorus, and then I've made it into a full song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the song's called My Girl, and literally I've actually just started to promote it now.
Wow. Well, nice, man.
Yeah. That
Look
one
forward to hearing that
releases on Friday the 8th of July. So
that's next week. Oh, this week.
This Friday.
That's this Friday. Yeah.
So when is this gonna air out?
This comes out on it comes out Saturday.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be out by then. So yeah, My Girl. So basically, I got to a point where one main thing I learned from the divorce was self-love. That was the one of the main things I learned was self-love. Like, you know what? Love yourself. Yeah. Take care of yourself. And you get what I'm saying? Give yourself that respect.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying? Give yourself that value.
I love that, Kate.
And this is what it was. I said, you know what? I'm never going to be in this position again.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
So I found strength in that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And now I've got to a point where I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You have to you know what? You see when a woman wants a man to be this, and a woman, if you ask a woman what kind of man they want, they'll give you 100 things.
Oh God.
You ask a man what you want from a woman, he'll probably put 3 or 4 things down.
Real talk.
love, attention,
Real
support,
talk, real talk.
some food. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm saying? But
We're very simple people.
yeah. But woman saying, it needs to be this,
Yeah,
I want
man.
that, I want this car, I want that house, I want this thingy, rare, treats me this, buys me this, blah, blah, blah. And I said, you know what? All right, I've got my list now.
Come
If
on.
you want to be my girl,
Come on.
this is what I want. This is what
Come
I
on.
want. This is what I want. These are my standards now.
Come on.
So if you don't want to fit to my standards, bye-bye.
That's it.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm not interested.
I'm not compromising. I'm
not doing it. I've done it
Yeah.
all my life.
Yeah.
So I got to a point and I said, you know what? No more self-love. This is what it is.
Yeah, man.
If you want to be in my world,
Come on.
this is what it is.
Yeah.
And so that song, My Girl, it talks about that.
Wow, that sounds really interesting. Because
Yeah.
what when you said it, what came to me? There's a scripture where God says, that the two greatest commandments was to love God with all your heart and to love yourself.
Yeah.
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 To love others, to love
Yeah.
others as yourself.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what God is really saying is you can't really love nobody, till
Yeah.
you love yourself.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So
It's true.
for you to speak like that, that's like, because I think most of us as men, when we get into relationships, we do lose ourselves
Yeah, we lose
because
ourselves.
we've got this idea that we've got to be always the pleasing,
yeah.
and depending on the kind of woman you got, you could be doing that
Nah.
some horrendous pleasing. You get me?
Yeah.
But I think what breaks a man is when a man's done all he's doing, and then they switch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I describe it like it's the same woman, but the mind in the woman has changed. It's the same woman I'm married.
Yeah.
But the mind
like-
in this woman now, I don't recognize this
I
woman.
don't know.
I don't
It's
know
a
who
stranger,
you are.
Like, I don't,
Yeah,
like,
wait,
this is
wait,
diff-
wait,
like,
wait.
show me this at the beginning, so then I could have made a
Thank
different
you.
decision. Do you know what I'm saying? But don't show me this years later. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
crazy. Like it's crazy. Sorry. With that song, single,
Yeah.
My Girl, it's me featuring Maxwell D. So big up Maxwell D. So
Okay.
that's out now. Then, if you're watching this now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something else as well,
Go on,
Rico,
talk it, man.
which I didn't even think about until this morning.
Oh, wow.
We was originally gonna do this last week.
That's right, my brother.
Yeah, so much was happening. Like I literally just lost track. I didn't even think about the day.
You say no more.
Literally, the day went by, and I was like, I'm supposed to link Rico.
Yo, that's right.
But you know what? When things happen for a reason.
Come on,
Yeah.
come on.
You was like, okay, the next day I've got free is it's gonna be this day
This
on the
day.
Monday. You know
Yeah,
what
man.
this day is?
Come on, talk to me, man.
You see this day, the 4th of July.
Yeah?
This was the day I got married.
You're lying.
This was the day I got married.
Yo, bro, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. That's symbolic in itself.
Yeah.
To
That's
be
what I'm
talking
saying,
about it, And as I said, Kay, I raise my hat to you, bro, because it's not only that it's a difficult conversation. It's coming from somebody that is a well-known person, and as I know, street cred and the whole 9 yards. You know how we are as men. I don't really want a man in my head. You understand me?
Yeah.
But I respect you because to speak about it, I think that's healing anyway.
Yeah,
you get
yeah,
me?
yeah,
and,
definitely.
And as I said before, these are conversations, as tough as they are, that need to be had, because there is so much of it. As I said, about 44% of marriages in the UK, I think in 2020, 22, have ended up in divorce. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And, the pain that it brings, and I've got to be honest, I think what hurts me in a divorce, and I always think, why don't people stop and think, instead of opting out of it so quickly? If it's chronic, I'm not saying stopping it, because I wouldn't, my daughters, I wouldn't want them and I nothing, and I wouldn't want my son in nothing that's chronic. No.
Yeah.
But if it's some little silly thing them, you come fuss about and want really draw a card about divorce, think about your children, man. And the impact that has, because no matter what we want to say, okay, it does have an impact on our children.
Yeah, definitely.
It really does.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And I know that not for the man's, especially my street brethren them, they're never married, but they live like married people.
Yeah.
And then things happen. Sometimes them bring it upon themselves, but not like, you get me? But anyway, the girl them throw them out. And then they use the children, as like the weapons to kill them. You can't send a picture of them. You can't this. And then some of them just give up. So you got a bag of mans out on road, K, that because they gave up on the fight, they don't know their kids, and then the kids are fed now this poison that your daddy not care, your daddy this, your daddy that. Because they're bitter with the man because he probably cheated on her. And she has right to be bitter, but not to the extent to poison
the kids,
that relationship.
And then your kids just don't care about the dad, and then they've got no good role models and don't want to look for their parents. And the man could be a good man, you know, he could have raised his pitney right, but
made a mistake.
Yeah, so then now the kids are on the roads. Do you know what I mean? Getting the role models off the streets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is not really the best.
You know, that's the thing. I think when women or men are really taking that decision, you got to look at the overall picture and the long-term effect. It's not just about how I feel now. It's the long-term effect because, you know, them kids there now have got to navigate being with mom for some part of time, being with dad if they're lucky. You get me? Or just being with mom and never seeing dad. You understand me? Or, you know what I mean? So, you know, it's something that we really do need to look into. As a community, I'll just say to you, you know, whether you're living in as a, you know, house common wife or a husband, as you know, or you put on the ring and you are married, and it comes to that kind of point where you can't live together anymore, you know, and you've got, especially these young kids, you've got to be more sensitive. Even in the divorce, and even if it comes to that, you still have to make sure that you balance out how the kids are affected by it. You can't be so selfish to say, I don't want to see the man anymore, so therefore you can't see your dad, or vice versa, because that's not going to help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say in my circumstance, like, she's been good in that sense.
Praise God.
It's like, you know,
that's really good to hear that.
Like, I don't want to stop you from seeing your children. You know what I mean? So she's good in that sense.
That's
so
excellent. That's excellent.
You know, we're cool. Like, we're at a stage where we're cool. It's just like, you've gone this way, I've gone that way. And that's what it is. But like I said, the whole journey it's been crazy, and it was traumatic. And now I'm at a point where I said, yo, I've been through the fire. Do you know what I mean? And I'm still here. So
you're a counsellor now, actually.
Give thanks.
Yeah, you could be a marriage counsellor there, because you know when you've gone through them kind of fire there, you know the man's coming through. You know you can sit down with a man like yourself and say, okay, oh, you go through that thing there, and you can give some pinpoints and that. But one of my questions, though, okay, before we leave, were there signposts, okay, you know that you kind of before it got to that point that you kind of were probably thinking, you know, did you show like signposts, like to say that things are going in that direction, or did it just come suddenly?
Nah, to be fair, I'd say, like, you see, women never just make decisions instantly. Like a woman, if a woman tells you today it's over, she made a decision years ago. Yeah.
So
that's how women are.
I hear
so that. Like, I'd say in terms of signs and stuff, like, there was little things that would happen in a relationship where I'd feel like, I don't know. I'd say, like, right at the beginning, it would be a thing where if we had like a argument or something wasn't right, she would kind of like leave.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She would just leave, and then a few days later I'd go chasing her, come back. Okay. But this is like the earliest. This is like boyfriend and girlfriend stages.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So, but there was like, they're just small little things. But then after a while, like when it started to get a bit, I'd say like it was a good few years before we actually separated.
Wow.
That things were rough.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? But I think it was rough because both of us wasn't 100% putting in that effort then to communicate and to try and work it out. Like, you know, okay, cool, let's bury the hatchet. Let's move forward. Let's, you know what I mean? And let's try and move forward in a positive way and discuss things like not arguing with each other, not shouting at each other, but just, you know, cool and collective, just trying to talk and work things out and say, okay, I don't like this and whatever. And not when one person's saying, because I've been that person sometimes when she's brought up something about me and I've probably said, but you've done this or whatever, and vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Not the pointing fingers thing. It has to be a thing where, like,
put that
you need
behind.
you need to talk on a level like, you know what, this ain't a joke thing. This is, we're in it for the long haul. So
come on.
At the end of the day, communication is another thing that I learned as well. That's one of the most important things in a relationship to have is communication.
It's something, okay, be honest with you, that I'm going to be honest with you. I think I think women are more like communicators, you know. They
they're
talk
more
their emotions
verbal.
and they you know they get it off their chest. I think men, you know, I'm not saying all men, but I'd say majority of us as men are not great communicators, especially when it comes to things close to our hearts.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah. No, that's true.
You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
fact,
So
yeah.
I think sometimes that is where it can get a bit sticky because the woman wants to sit down and have this conversation because things are getting on top of her. Yeah. And you're putting it off now because that's what we do.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
All right, but not right now.
Yeah.
You get me?
So this is that's kind of like what my first song Soul Ties is about.
Okay,
It's
man.
just about not, you know, I wish I spent more time I didn't spend enough time with you, but at the same time it's the communication. Like I didn't speak. Maybe if I spoke,
Come on.
maybe wouldn't be in this situation.
Come
so
on.
you know, that's me saying, you know what, I'll raise my hand and say, look, I could have communicated better.
Better.
Do you know what I mean? Like, but then at the same, I don't feel like this is the judgment I should face.
Not for communicating.
Yeah.
Nah,
So that's just me. Like maybe,
That's me
you know what I mean.
personally
I
as well.
I needed to build, but I've learned that. So, man, them communicate
Yo,
as
so
much as
I
you
was
can.
gonna say that,
Don't be
Kay.
shy. Just talk the things, man.
Love it, man.
Talk.
Love
But that's
it.
what it is, and this is why I do it, because I realize, you know what, life is short. Tomorrow's not promised, and you know what, I'm not watching no face. At the end of the day, people look up to me. You know, there's other people that won't speak. They feel a certain way, but I don't business about that because it's not important.
No.
That's not it. Like what I'm gonna be afraid and nah, man. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm real and I'm gonna keep it 100. And this is what it is.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, this is life. Like we all go through it.
all go through
Do you know
different
what I mean?
stages of life,
Like, yeah.
man. Yeah.
Like one day you might be hungry, you might be broke, you might be in. Everyone lives in debt. That's so we're not even gonna go over that. Like there's so much things that happen to us by default that you experience in life. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
Come on.
This is what it is. Like at the end of the day, this is life. We're all living in the same place.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean? We all go through the same conditions.
Come on now.
You get what I'm saying? Like if you had a room and with plants in there and you put sunshine on, you put lights on there, and you one day you might put the water in there, and all of the plants are getting the same conditions.
Come on.
Do you know what I'm saying? They might
on.
grow differently, but
They all get
so
the same
why would they be
conditions.
ashamed to say, oh, I got water today, or I got sunlight? It's the same. This is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And people just gotta be real with themselves. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's what it is. Look in the mirror and strip yourself naked. Like, you know what I mean? Who are you? What are you about? And do you know what I mean? And this is what it is. And like that's what I come to
Because
realize.
I like what you said earlier, you know, about, you know, you took out the boxes, you know.
Yeah.
You know, that's real therapy, you know.
yeah,
Because I don't think we, especially as men, you know, get time to even really analyze who we really are sometimes.
This
you
is
know
what
what
it is. I said to myself, I had to do, like,
Serious?
I kept putting it off, but I'm talking to
Yeah.
myself, and there's a voice in my head saying, yo, you know, you need to look at yourself, and you know, you need to stop and think, and you need to stop.
Reevaluate.
Yeah, and deal with it.
Yeah,
I kept saying to
yeah.
my little voice, was, you know, you got to deal with your issues, innit? I said, yeah, I'll do it later. Carry on for a week. You know, you got to deal with your issues. Yeah, carry on. And I got to a point, I was like, you know what? Shut up, man. Get out of my ears. You get what I'm saying? All right, I'm going to deal with it now. So I sat down. I was like, all right, cool. Let me open it. I was like, boy, there's a lot of boxes in this room, you know. Gone digging. And then when you're looking, you're like, yo, really,
man.
this is what's going on. It's like, okay, cool. So it's like, yeah, man, I had to address certain things. And that's
Respect.
what it is. And I think that, like, I was at like my lowest point, but I feel like I was very strong at the same time.
Yo,
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it was. It was like that strength that, you know what, my kids need me.
Come on, come on. That,
Do you know what I mean?
There is a focus in it.
Yeah.
That becomes the focus.
Yeah,
man.
they need me. Like, and even if it's not your kids, your family, your friends, like people need you. So I'm thinking, you know what? Like, I got to a point I felt like I'm losing my soul, like I'm losing my mind.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? I need to sort it out. So I was like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was paranoid at certain times. It's like, you know what I mean?
Man.
Couldn't sleep. I was like, you know what? Deal with it. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me deal with it. Because you know what? Needs to be done, and you can do it.
Yeah, man. And then you move on. You move
Yeah,
on,
yeah.
man.
And
You
then from
move
there, I
on.
just built, and you know what I mean? I'm in a much better place.
Yeah, man. Well, okay. I was like I said, I seen you today, and that's the first thing I said. You know what I mean? You look fresh, my brother.
man, yeah, man.
You get me? Because
man.
you know, I've met so many people along my journey that have gone through it. Some have gone through it, okay, you know, easy because they were the culprit anyway. You know what I mean? The wife needed to get rid of them. You get me?
Yeah.
But there was some that, like, you know, yourself, that didn't deserve really that kind of direction, and some of them went through some real tough times. You know what I mean? I'm talking about mash up. If you don't mind sharp, them I talk to the trees. You understand me? So I got to understand, you know what I mean, firsthand anyway, that, you know, divorce is it's a killer. It's especially if it coming on the side where he wasn't expecting. So as I said, Kay, you know what I mean, you know, it's been a privilege, bro. You know what I mean, to have you on the show. Look forward to hearing the tracks. You get me? Most definitely. You know, therapy. What's it called again?
Therapy Sessions.
There you go.
So Therapy Sessions is the album that's out now. Well, both of them will be out by the time you start watching this. So there's Therapy Sessions, an album, and it goes through different stages. And then I've got the new single with Maxwell D called My Girl. So that's me now, confident again. I'm here, self-love, and yeah, man. If you wanna step into my world, then this is what I'm expecting. And you can have your expectations, which women will always have their expectations. True. And I tick boxes. Do you know what I mean? And that's the kind of person I am. I'm wholesome. Do you know what I'm saying? I bring the table to the table. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So that's what I'm saying now. Okay, cool. This is what I want. And if we're gonna do this, this is what we need to do. And this is the conditions. Yeah, and I say it in a nice, entertaining, and fun way where you can dance to it as well. All right.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I really do. I look forward to it. Well, listeners, you know, I really hope that this conversation has, you know, helped you. You know, those that have gone through it, those that are probably in the midst of something that might lead to it. You know, I just pray that it might have helped you. You know what I mean? And, you know, for those that are not married and one day are looking to get married, as you heard from KMD, you know what I mean? You got to love yourself first. You know what I'm saying to you? And, you know, you've got to come into it for the long haul. You get me? You know, the courting days are always easy and sweet. You get me? But then you're going to have little ones, you know what I mean? And then you're going to have tough times, hard times, financial difficulties. All kind of things happen. It's life, as Kay rightly told you. And it's how you and your partner navigate your life. Because if you navigate it together, you know what I mean? And especially if you put the Most High in the midst of that, you know what? You're going to get through. But if one person doesn't want to communicate or one person doesn't want to fight for the relationship, what I learned was this: you cannot force somebody to be with you or to love you. They've got to want to, and they've got to feel that that's what they want to do. If you, even though you've got all intentions to be with that woman, but she clearly does not want to be with you, you can dance on the roof, mate. It's not going to change her because she's already made up her mind. Women, it's the same for you. If you love a man and that man clearly is telling you that he don't love you, showing you the signs that he don't love you, but you're holding on because you think actually that you can't live without him, and you're carrying on going through all the abuse and the craziness to hold on to this man who clearly doesn't love you, you're wasting your time. Because no matter what you do, you could cook the sweetest dinner for him, wear the nicest pajamas, whatever you want, the sweetest perfume. It ain't gonna change him because he's already made up his mind. He don't want to be with you. You understand me? So these are clear signs just to help you, because I've seen a lot of people get damaged trying to hold on to something that's already gone. And as Kay clearly said, sometimes with women, they're way ahead of the game anyway. When they made up their mind, it's probably about 2 years ago. You understand me? And when they want to catch up. You get me? Yeah. But, you know, what I will say is, you know, marriage is a sweet thing. Just don't get me wrong. Marriage is a sweet thing. It is a God-ordained thing.
Yeah, can I interject?
Of course you can, sir.
So, last year, I was like, you know what? I'm never getting married again. I wouldn't do it again. Yeah, that was my conclusion.
That makes sense.
But you see how I feel now? I'd get married again, you know. You see, with the right one, I'd do it again. I'd do it all again.
Well, okay, that's really.
I need to make sure I say that.
Yeah, and you learn from the past, innit?
Yeah.
You don't bring it into the new, but you learn from it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. You know, there's always, you know, this a silver lining. You know what I mean, in the cloud. You get me? So all I'm gonna say to you is this: yeah, marriage is a good thing. It was ordained by God, but just like everything in life, it takes work. Don't go in there blind thinking that, you know, you're just gonna skip through the flowers and the sunshine. You're gonna have rainy days. You're gonna have stormy days. You get me? You're gonna have cold days. You're gonna have, you know, tough days. You're gonna have all kind of days. But because the love that you have for each other is strong, and as Kay outlined, communication is strong. You know, we speak about, you know, feelings of what's bothering us and what's not bothering us and buckling it up. You get me? You know, you can navigate through these things and come out the other side. You get me? And continue on the journey of married life. And especially if you got kids, you know, it's so important, be honest with you know, to try your best to keep together. But as I said, it's two individual people with two individual minds. It takes two people to come in agreement for anything to happen anyway. So with that, I'm going to say this. God bless you all. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the show. And don't forget to tune in to KMD's album, which is called
Therapy Sessions.
There
New
you
single is called My Girl.
There you go.
KMD Brumtown on the socials.
This is us from Love in Action. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to this content. If you liked it, please don't forget to like, subscribe and make a comment down below. Or even more so, check out our website www.affinityextra.com for more information.